Welcome to Vlogmas Day 13.
Wow. Aidan got me a smoothie. Yum.
It's all about McDonald's date night, am I right?
Mm-hmm. No, I can't eat much there. McDonald's, Canada, you need to bring out a veggie burg or a veggie something because they have stuff in the UK. Hi!
Oh my gosh. This is so bad.
Last time we were in London, I had like a veggie wrap or something. Anyways, it would be nice to have more options than just French fries and smoothies.
All right, today we're going to be talking about a movie that we watched and giving a bit of a review for it, which is something we've never done before. The movie is Last Christmas, directed by Paul Feig, starring Emilia Clarke, Henry Golding, who's like the man, Michelle Yeoh, or Yao, and who's the older lady?
Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson.
And
She's unbelievable.
this came out last year?
2019, romantic comedy.
And I feel like I heard mixed things about it, and I figured it would be like a cheesy one, but we were looking for something lighthearted last night, so put it on. It was good.
I hadn't heard anything about this movie before watching it. I just knew of it, and I knew Emilia Clarke was in it. And yeah, I think I remember it getting some hype last year, but yeah, I didn't know anything about it, which was great. So if you want that experience, the short review is that as a person who's not super into rom-coms, this one was great, and I recommend it for the couples out there. And then you can just go watch it. You don't have to spoil anything for yourself. We're going to try to not spoil anything, but if you just want to go in like I did, knowing absolutely nothing, then
Stop now.
Then stop now
and go watch it.
And go watch it, and you'll have a great time because it's great. But we're going to try not to spoil anything. We'll just give our thoughts on it. So the first thing that kind of stood out was the score. I just thought Last Christmas was just a reference to the George Michael song, but they kind of went full bore with the entire soundtrack being almost exclusively George Michael songs. A lot of his hits and a lot of his like stuff from the 80s. But then a lot of his weirder stuff that he had in the 2000s, which I thought was funny. Like just for like in between scenes that have like, George Michael did a lot of like techno and weird stuff when his, it is later in his music career when he was not as famous anymore, I guess. Kind of like one of those things that happens to older artists, aka Elton John, still making music.
Aidan's brother Joel, hi Joel, is a big George Michael fan, and when we lived with him, I got really into George Michael. So it was cool to have a whole movie with his music the whole way through. Yeah,
it didn't feel too forced, like I know with George Michael's death. Like as soon as it started out like that, I kind of thought, oh yeah, they're cashing in on a dead celebrity. But it seemed like it was done tastefully, and the theme of the setting of the movie is London. It's in the UK. I think it's London, and so it's it makes sense. Like George Michael, obviously British as well, so I like that aspect of it.
Every time we watch a show based in any city we've gone to, Aidan likes to say, "Oh, we were there." This time, for once, like I actually think we might have been there.
Yeah.
At the place where some of the shots were of the outside of shops and things like that. I think it was Covent Garden. So we're going to have to look back and see if we were actually there.
Yeah.
But I think we might have been. Anyways, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice that they did that. They didn't just film it in Vancouver or something and then say it was the UK. Like a lot of places do for, it's in LA, but it's actually just Vancouver. So the plot. The basic plot is just Emilia Clarke is playing this down and out kind of singer and performer. She's living in London, pretty much homeless, and kind of going from man to man and living with them in one night kind of stands and pursuing auditions, as well as working kind of full time at a Christmas shop. That's run by one of the other main characters in the story. Her name is Santa, an older Asian lady, played by Michelle Yeoh. And she does a great job of playing it. Almost like that is like a stereotype in itself, like the Asian kind of shopkeeper. But it went very much deeper than that, and they gave her a full-fleshed kind of side story, which was great.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the story starts off with just Emilia Clarke being down and out. You see her, you know, being like a child star kind of early on in her life, and then you just see her kind of rummaging around, looking greasy, working at a job that she hates, and not being a good person either. It's not like they'll make it and break it through. Like there's an Oscar Isaac movie called Inside Llewyn Davis, which follows like him being a down and out kind of folk artist, and you're kind of rooting for him the whole time, being like, this guy, like, he's so talented, I want him to make it. They never really show off Emilia Clarke's talent. In fact, they kind of downplay it, where she is kind of washed up. She's not practicing as much. She's not really taking it seriously. She's eating like trash. She's just hooking up with dudes. Yeah. I was saying to Alyssa while we were watching the movie, pretty much for the first like 30 or 40 minutes, I was like, well, they've pretty much convinced me that I don't like her. And they've done a very good job, where I just think, I think anything that happens to her, she deserves it. And the plot kind of then escalates into her meeting this man, played by an actor I never heard of before, Henry Golding. Just the smiling, perfect dude. Plays it very well.
Oh, he was in A Simple Favor, which is by the same director, Paul Feig, and Crazy Rich Asians, which we haven't seen, but I want.
That's another one I've heard stuff about. So he was great. And yeah, with the backdrop of the kind of George Michael score, it's their relationship, and he's a really nice guy. She's a really shitty girl, and she kind of has her reasons, and then they get into that, and it deals a lot with her family, who were immigrants from former Yugoslavia, and her mom, who is, what's the mom's act?
Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson. Oh my god. Such a good performance.
I was so weirded out by her accent at first, but then she did it really well. I think.
My little mama Bushka. No, don't leave. Let me sing. Just like the total overbearing mother.
I don't know, because I don't have an accent like that, so I don't know if she did a good job.
Yeah.
But to me, it was pretty convincing that, you know, she was that type of mother.
Yeah, her character, it didn't throw me out and go, oh my god, she's putting on an accent. I kind of recognized her face, knew that wasn't her accent, but I felt like it didn't take away from the character, where sometimes you go, oh god, that's their British accent. Like, who had a terrible British accent recently? That girl that you watched.
Oh. Vanessa Hudgens.
Vanessa Hudgens, you just shooed that one in. That was terrible.
It's not great.
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh, she has an accent. I assume, I have no idea if it's real or not. It's a very like, it's English and British. But I can't remember where they say she's from. If they say, I think if she's just Chinese.
I'm not sure.
But has an accent with like, that Asian kind of influence in it. But she plays it great. Yeah, kind of takes the stereotype and then works with it. It's like, here's the Asian shopkeeper stereotype, but she's actually going to have a story. And I really liked it. And I really liked her interaction with Emilia Clarke, who's got the eyebrow game. Like, you would not believe. Her brows are almost too much. But this movie, I didn't find it. I feel like she tamed them down. Because I felt like on Game of Thrones, that's where a lot of us first saw her. It was just insane, just expression levels, and so expressive. But I felt like she did a great job acting and playing her character. Like, I definitely did not like her character, and she was playing that role right. It wasn't like she was unbelievably just like an asshole. It was like, oh, she's just living without a care, and that's despicable. So yeah, moving on.
I just want to say that I was very impressed that this movie had such a variety of people in it, and I really enjoyed that. So I saw white people, Asian people, black people, lesbians. I saw people in a wheelchair.
Yeah, there actually
people
was.
with no legs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I know they can't cover everyone, but I was impressed that it wasn't, white people, white straight people movie.
Yeah, I felt like they had a lot of people of different races included, and different abilities. Not sure how you say that, but
and
sexualities, all that stuff. Yeah, and it kind of tied into the theme of it. So when the movie first kind of starts, it shows you that it's set in 2017, which I thought was odd, and it kind of made sense. I was like, normally if it's just a modern movie, they don't even care to tell you. You're just like, it's modern times. That guy's got an iPhone. I can figure this out. But they showed it in 2017 in the UK, and I was like, I wonder why. And there was kind of this general theme with her parents, Emilia Clarke's parents, being immigrants, and the backdrop of kind of Brexit happening, and the whole blaming of people who aren't British for all the British problems. And they really hit that nail kind of on the head a few times with Emilia Clarke's interactions with her mom, who is very scared of them being immigrants from Yugoslavia, it happening all over again, where people are blaming them for the shitty things in their lives. And so, yeah, the cohesiveness of this is the kind of backdrop and the theme of the movie is, hey, Emilia Clarke's character is an asshole. She needs to learn how to help each other, and that's what you're kind of designed to do. And then the backdrop of Brexit being like, hey, is hate really the answer? And then tied that in with the casting of all the people and how it's all different nationalities, all different races, and that side of things. Yeah, it doesn't feel forced. Like if it had just been a normal rom-com and then there had been a guy in a wheelchair and a black guy, and that's where you kind of get those, oh, it's the token black guy, oh, it's the token guy in the wheelchair. But it never felt like that. All the characters had life. The casting was great. The script writing was great. Like I thought the conversations were, for the most part, pretty believable. There was some Hollywood kind of stuff or things you just wouldn't say to like make it nice and get the tears going. But I felt like that was great too. So the overall theme was awesome.
Yeah.
It really sold me on the story. Do you have any comparables to like what this movie reminded you of?
Like compare it to another movie?
Yeah. Did it remind you of anything that you've seen?
Not specifically.
No, I think it was pretty unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very unique. Like after seeing it, I maybe don't want to watch it again right away, but I know I want to watch it again because I think it'll be even more enjoyable the second time through. I think we talked about most of it. I have some notes that I'm like looking at just to make sure we covered things. There's other kind of more technical movie things like the editing of the film and how did it look, like was there special effects or anything like that, and there wasn't really. Like it was pretty much.
Did you talk about the ADR?
Oh yeah,
or was
ADR.
that a different movie?
No, so ADR, I think it's audio dialogue. Yeah, sometimes I just like to nitpick on that because I've done that before. You notice it more for like, when we watch The Grinch where it's all cartoon, you go, there's no real sounds in this movie. Someone had to have made up every single sound.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of judge it more there where like when someone's walking on snow and you can just listen to them kind of walk and see if it's timed up well and if it makes sense. So I just noticed in this one, the audio dialogue, the ADR was great. Like I could tell it wasn't recorded on set because those movies, they have a different sound to them. It's usually just like sounds louder. There's more reverb and echo. But this was good. There was just one scene in particular where the guy looked up and he talked, and you can tell how my voice sounds different when I do that. And in the ADR, he must have done that because his voice sounded different. And I was like, oh, that's a nice touch. Yeah, what was your general feeling after the film? Did you feel entertained, educated?
I was looking for a light, heartfelt Christmas movie. It was not as light as I expected, I will tell you that. Not that that's a bad thing, but...
lots of heavy themes.
It was definitely heavier than I expected, and I cried and slapped Aidan when I found something out. So, I guess I was a bit upset, like frustrated at the movie. But overall, it was very good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was smart. It's great to see a a movie with great writing and that looks great too. After seeing like so many Netflix kind of movies and so many bad ones, you kind of just get blasé with, oh, it's just another Christmas movie. It's subpar dialogue. Whereas this one looked great. Looked like a professional, high-budget film. Didn't have any flashy stuff, but, you know, they were kind of showing off London, and it was cool. It was recognizable. And yeah, it looked nice. It looked like, oh, it makes me want to go travel there. Like, it looks like a freaking travel ad sometimes. It looks so nice. And then the acting totally supported the plot and the theme, and all of that kind of came together. Like even the choice of using George Michael as the backdrop made sense. Like they tried to match up the songs to match what the characters were going through and things like that. And so I mean, for a Christmas movie I haven't seen, I think that's going to be on my list of ones I rewatch kind of every year potentially.
Wow, I was worried Aidan wouldn't like it.
Yeah, and it's only an hour and 40, which is huge. A movie under 2 hours, always like, as soon as I saw that gets it in my good books immediately. If I see a movie that's like 2 hours and 30 minutes, it's like, if I don't like this within 10 minutes, this is going to be bullshit. And the movie started off with me not liking the main characters, which is always a funny thing for a movie to do. Usually it tries to get you kind of rooting for them. But this one was kind of like, okay, how low are we going to make this point for this character? How low are they going to go? And then, start to climb back up kind of deal. But for me, loved it. I don't know. I'd give it like an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. Like really, acting was great. Loved the story. It was short. It was pretty holiday-esque. So that, that's what we were looking for. We wanted to watch a holiday movie.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I would definitely put it on your list to watch before Christmas this year.
How many Christmas trees out of 10 would you give it?
Ooh. I think same as you, like 8.5 or 9. Yeah, it's a good one.
And Paul Feig, you might know him from the director of, what other films has he done?
He's done Bridesmaids.
Yeah, Bridesmaids.
He did some episodes for The Office, which is cool. I remember them talking about it on the Office Ladies podcast. What else?
Spy, which is a really good one. Arrested Development, Freaks and Geeks. Yeah, he's been on a lot of shows and just come in for like to direct a few episodes and things like that.
Yeah.
So he's definitely got the background for comedy. And there's a lot of great throwaway jokes in there. Kind of like when you watch a movie or Anchorman, and there's just like a joke that just gets, it's kind of random. But there's a lot of them, and they were very good. Like some of them, we actually watched this movie on Apple TV, the first movie we watched on it.
Yeah.
So you just rent it. It was pretty quick. Good. And so we can like easily kind of, it's just like Netflix, so you can rewind quickly. So there was definitely a scene that was so funny, I laughed out loud.
Oh yeah.
And had to go backwards to see it and be like, look at this man when this happens.
Yeah, because it was like a, 2-second clip or something.
Yeah.
And I missed this guy's face the first time through, and Aidan was like, I need to see that again.
His face is just like,
what?
So wide. His eyes are so
expressive.
friggin' wide. I couldn't believe it. I laughed out loud. I don't think any joke felt forced. I don't think the only characters that maybe I wasn't 100% behind, but then eventually I got sold on, was the 2 female cops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was like the only other bit role, because they had people who worked at the homeless shelter. There were some characters there. Her sister, Amelia Clark's sister, and her girlfriend were characters, and I felt like they were believable. So like all of these characters all worked. Maybe the weakest ones were just the 2 female cops.
Yeah, they were a little cheesy.
And just a little bit cheesy is what I would say. But I still laughed, and I thought that they didn't take away from the film, and they did tie into the story, like why they showed up, why they were there in the first place, and kind of, held together with that theme. Like they weren't going too hard on like the whole Brexit thing. And with, police brutality potentially getting drawn into that or whatever. The cop's role was pretty light, which was nice. Like I didn't feel like it rubbed me the wrong way at all. I just thought maybe their dialogue was a bit
forced.
Bit forced.
Yeah.
But they were good. All right. maybe we'll do another review on a new Christmas movie we watch, but this was great.
Yeah, it's hard to find good Christmas movies that are new.
It's easy to find them, but it's not easy to find good ones, because oh my god, is there endless trash out there. Jesus.
I don't mind the trashy ones sometimes, but Aidan can't stand them.
I can literally look at it and go, no. Like, within 5 seconds, you can look at it and go, there's not enough production going on here. And it's, you know, sometimes they've got great actors, and sometimes they are good, like some directors. Yeah. So I'm not saying you have to have a big budget to make a movie that I'll like. There's definitely, you know, something to be said about directors and movies being operated on a small budget and still working. Like, that can definitely happen. And there have been a few cases where I've liked those kind of Netflixy ones that they probably just like pushed out the door really quickly because some actors were great. Usually it's like 1 or 2 things about it are very good, and that kind of helps the whole thing. But sometimes it's just all bad. You can tell the actors are just like mailing it in, and it's not good.
Oh gosh.
Or
and
just
the music.
Yeah, and the music.
The music's
exactly.
always bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Do do do.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this sounds like YouTube stock music. Like when I hear
the
that
stuff we use on ours.
Yeah, it's like that's the music we use on our videos, which we literally found within 2 seconds. Anyway, we'll get into some new Christmas movies soon.
Yeah, let us know if you have any favorites that we should watch.
Yeah, if there's any new ones that you liked, even if they're quote unquote Netflix kind of movies and maybe not actually released, let us know. I'd be down to watch some new ones that people think are good. Till next time, Vlogmas. This is just a little quick video.
We'll see you soon.
Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.